Hey, Mitch.
Oh, hey, Ed, how are you?
Yeah, great. Where are you?
Oh, I got this new part-time job on Io, one of the moons of Jupiter. I'm mining, Ed. I'm mining.
Wow, I didn't know you were a miner. I thought you were over age. But what are you seriously? What are you doing there?
Oh, it's a cool job, Ed. I mean, they pay well, and the more hours you work, the more money you make. So I started taking this like experimental drug. It's keeping me up for like days and stuff. But there's no problem so far.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the only thing that's bugging me is these spiders that are like all over my outfit. They're like in my suit and stuff. I don't
What
know how
what
to get rid of them.
what do you
Yeah.
mean spiders?
Oh, there's like spiders. They're crawling all over me. I can feel it. In
They're-
fact,
they're-
I'm gonna I'm gonna open my suit up and get some of them out because I think they're going down my pants.
No, I wouldn't
No,
do that if I was you.
no,
No.
yeah, no. It'll just be all right. It'll just be a second.
Let's just start the show. Hi, this is Ed Dollister.
And this is Mitch Halleck.
And welcome to another exciting episode of Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure. If it's your first time here, thanks so much for joining us. If you are a regular viewer, thanks for coming back. And a big welcome to all our new subscribers as well that we've got over the last couple of weeks. Great to have you on board. Mitch, if you do want to find out a little bit more about our show, what can you do?
Oh, and it's as easy as getting a job on the moons of Jupiter and working your heart out and then becoming addicted to some drug. All you have to do is I'm gonna see Jesus.
Bless you. Fourth time's a charm.
Leave it all in. Leave it all in, Ed. All you have to do is to become addicted.
To
All you
become
have to do
addicted.
is
What?
become addicted. How do you learn
So,
more about the show, Mitch? Oh, Ed, all you have to do is become addicted to some performance enhancing drug and you'll be mining like 249er all day long. Just hit the subscribe button below, and you too will be subscribed to Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure, and you'll know next time we go on another episode by hitting the notification bell and hit the like button. Whatever.
boy, that introduction is probably going to be as long as our show on Outland from 1981. I really enjoyed this movie. Did you see this movie when it came out in cinemas?
I did, and I was so excited to see it. It came out in May 1981, and I thought it was one of the best adventure movies I'd ever seen to that point. Little did I know that a mere couple weeks later, my life would be changed forever when Raiders of the Lost Ark come. No, no, no. This, my dad's a huge James Bond fan, loves Sean Connery. He was always like the guy we talked about at the house, like Sean Connery's the best James Bond. So a space picture with James Bond in it. You know, I was there opening day. I went to the theaters. Not a lot of people at the show. They gave out these great 8x10 pictures of Sean Connery holding a gun that said Outland. I got a bunch of them here at the house, and I thoroughly enjoyed it so much. I think I saw the movie about 3 times
Wow.
that summer. Yeah, it was really good.
So
I
I
liked it.
never saw it in cinemas. I first knew about, I know, it was a little bit, it was like Alien, I suppose. It was a little bit more
Once.
adult. And it never, I know, so I never saw it in cinemas, but I did first find out about it in 1981, 82 from my Mad magazine because they had, when I bought Raiders of the Lost Ark, or the Mad magazine with the Raiders of the Lost Ark parody, they had an parody of Outland called Outlandish.
Outlandish. I
And
knew it.
I read over that and I thought, oh, this sounds actually kind of really fun. So I got it on VHS, maybe, I don't know,
Oh,
3 or 4 years
really?
later.
I was going to ask you, you know, that review book you have. Do you have it handy?
I do.
Is Outland
And
in there?
I'm going to have a look. Actually, I was just thinking about that. LMNO. Let's have a look. I might, oh, what a lovely war. QRST, the Outlaws, the Outsiders. Oh,
Did it have a different name in Australia? Because I know they named it something else.
Outland, 1981.
There it is.
Okay. Connery plays a federal marshal with a principal and determination as he tries to crack a drug smuggling ring at a remote mining camp on Jupiter's third moon. Boyle is the manager of the mine colony. This rousing and stunning space opera is a close cousin to High Noon with a dash of James Bond thrown in. The drama and suspense are enhanced by magnificently done special effects and sci-fi settings that detail the bleak, synthetic outer space environment and the rigors of working there. Also with Francis Sternhagen, director Peter Hyams, 4 stars.
Wow, that's impressive from that person, because they normally don't like the movies that we like. But I agree with her 100%. I thought it was a rousing adventure. I thought it looked great at the time. I mean, I'm not going to look through with the modern day eyes and talk about the CGI, but at the time, it was really scary. I mean, when I watched that movie, I always think of Jupiter as like a place I don't want to ever go to. I mean, it's just there. It's like this gigantic. I mean, you look, Jupiter's been in 2001, obviously 2010, which Peter Hyams directed, in Outland. It always comes across as this foreboding, gigantic, like evil place. And Io is known for its volcanoes and everything, and they didn't do it any justice in this movie or help it out, because it was depressing. It was dark, and you didn't want to go there. I'll tell you that. I mean, it looked like some kind of a mining colony. You know?
Oh, absolutely. It was the production design was fantastic. The I can say that the costume design was by John Mollo, who if you know Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Alien. Of course, the film editor was Stuart Baird, who worked on Superman the movie, Skyfall, a number of other films. Peter Hyams, who I think is a really good director. He does his own cinematography. I love Capricorn 1. That's a cracker of a thriller.
It is. We should review that one someday.
That's really good. He also did Time Cop, and he also did I think he do the Presidio with
he did the Presidio.
He did another with Sean Connery. If it's not the Presidio, I'll put down what he actually did.
Rising Sun with Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. No, I'm not sure if it was that. Anyway,
no, but didn't Peter Hyams do 2010?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I was going to say that's the next big movie he did.
And that again, the visual effects were fantastic. We'll talk about the cast in a second. We're sort of going backwards. Visual effects used Introvision for the very first time. Now, Introvision, if you know Introvision, you'll certainly know Megaforce.
Megaforce.
Okay? And we've got a great episode on Megaforce, a classic, maybe a cult classic for sure. The visual effects were fantastic. Production design was fantastic. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. In fact, a lot of people say there's sort of links to, does this happen in the same universe as Alien? Because it looks very Alien-like. There's Con Amalgamate, the company that Peter Boyle works for, which is and the drug that they use is polydichloric euthamal, and that's actually referred to in the Terminator. There's references in, I think it's Terminator 2, to that.
Oh,
it's spelled
I always
a
just
little bit differently.
The space helmet always made me think of Alien. That big bulky space helmet with the lights inside looked just like the ones they had on board the Nostromo. Yes. I always thought they were in the same universe. Maybe it's not the same time period, but eventually, 2000. Well, I don't. Do they ever say what the date is in Outland?
Oh no, I think they probably do. If they do, I'll put it down below now.
Yeah, no, but I always thought that was like in the near future, and I thought Alien was just a little farther out from that. I even thought Blade Runner was connected to the alien world too. But that's another story because of the Tyrell Corporation and the replicants and stuff. I always think of it as one little pocket universe of the future or something. Well, but
weren't the replicants working on off the moons of Io or
Io,
moons of Jupiter or something like that? So they are all sort of, you feel like they're interconnected even if they're not. And the production design and everything still holds up. I watched it the other night in reasonably high def, and it really looks fantastic. And
you know what it is? It's those hallways, those long hallways that are like that octagon, that hexagon shape that you see in Star Wars when they go to the princess's chamber. The holding cell block 1138. But it's an Alien too. It's that connective whitish fluorescent look. But anyway, yeah, no, it's a good movie. And you said Peter Hyams, I do believe he has a story writing credit because they told him that the Western was dead. And
Yes,
to prove them wrong, he made this film, which in essence is basically a Western a la High Noon, but it's in space. He put it in that location. But
exactly.
is he
Yeah, he
the
sort of
writer
had
on this
this.
thing?
What's that? Sorry.
Is he the writer on this?
Yes, he did. He
Yeah.
did write it, and it is. I mean, he had the realization that hang on a second, aren't sci-fi films really just westerns in set in outer space? And that's what he
Yeah.
did. And I think it works great. You've got that a great performance by Sean Connery as William T. O'Neill, and I do remember watching it on VHS, going, oh, they've misspelled his name because his O'Neill's spelt really weirdly, Niel instead of Neil. But anyway,
Well, you know
uh,
what's funny about that?
what?
The governor of Connecticut's name was William T. O'Neill. I always thought that was weird. And at the
Really?
same time, yeah, the governor O'Neill had the same name and same spelling. I'm like, wait a minute, that's Sean Connery. But
That
anyway,
is interesting. You
it
had
is.
Francis Sternhagen playing Dr. Lazarus, who's on his side. Peter Boyle, who most people would know as
Yeah. Or Ray
Frankenstein's
Romano.
monster from Young Frankenstein. You've got James B. Sicking in it from who's
Hill Street
playing
Blues.
Montone. Stephen Burkhoff, who's a well-known theater actor as well as
He's the bad guy from the James Bond movies, isn't he?
he is.
The crazy
He's
Russian guy, Gogol
yeah,
or something with the bump on his head.
yes,
Yes, that
and
is
he's
him. I
also
thought
from
so.
Rambo
In
and
Rambo, First Blood Part 2. Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah.
So
That's
he's
his
in
name.
it. Plays Sagan, and there's a few other Star Wars connections as well. You got John Ratzenberger in the
Where?
cast. He's
Here?
one of the astronauts, and
Oh,
Angus McGuinness at the start.
yeah, the start. That is Angus McGuinness.
It
Yeah.
is.
Red leader, gold leader.
Yeah, gold
Yeah.
leader, basically. So there's some Star Wars connections and everything like that. The film didn't do great. It actually like opening weekend was like $3 million. It actually
Oh, it
did
was huge
really
opening
well
weekend. And then it just went like that.
because from my understanding is that they wanted to sort of do it a bit of a slow burn, and then they
It
expanded
did
into
it,
cinemas, but they didn't expand it into enough cinemas.
no, it only opened up in like 300 movie theaters. And that, nowadays that's nothing. But back in the early 80s, even then it wasn't a lot of theaters. 300 theaters was not a lot. Maybe 350, I think it opened up in,
Mm.
and that was it,
So it basically just made back its budget, unfortunately, but it's still a really, really good film. It's just a good old school, um, the sheriff against the bad guys, and the confrontation at the end where they're
Yep.
all out to get the sheriff was really quite exciting. And I hadn't seen it for years, so I was going, oh, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't remember
I
what
like
happens.
I remember the fight scene. I always cringe when he throws the drugs in the boiling water and Sean Connery puts his hand in the water
Yes,
and pulls it out. I was like, ooh.
yeah,
I was grossed out when the guys exploded. That freaked me out. Like the guys that thought the spiders were on him, like I did in
yes,
the earlier opening. And he opens it up and it was all bloated, like his guts had popped out and then the face exploded. The only thing that bugs me is when they have those quote unquote bounty hunters at the end.
yes,
And Sean Connery's on the outside and he throws a piece of metal and it spins and the guy shoots at it. I go, did it look like a person? No, it looked like a square. Why did you shoot? And what were you thinking about shooting a gun inside a pressurized
yeah,
space thing? I was always like, isn't that gonna explode? And it did.
yeah.
It did. So
But great miniature effects, great visual effects.
great. The only thing
Um,
I noticed now, years later,
yeah,
is now I just explained it. I was gonna say, how come you don't see Jupiter rotating in the background? But it's the moon of Jupiter, so it's in orbit around Jupiter. So maybe that's why it doesn't move because
yeah, that could be it.
I
And
was always
probably
that was the only thing that bugged me. I'm like, you should see it rotate a little bit, but
well,
it
you
doesn't.
certainly saw it in 2010 when
Oh yeah.
ILM did the visual effects for that, which were fantastic. That's another film we should do, 2010, I think.
The only person I didn't like in this whole movie was the kid, his
Oh,
son.
because he was dubbed so poorly.
Oh, was he dubbed? I just like, what is up with this kid's acting like, hi,
Hello, what's
Dad,
going on? It was like, I know. Please, sir,
Mom's
I want
here.
some
I'm
more.
like, what? Whose son is he? I was like, is he like someone's relative? Because that has to be one of the worst performances I've ever seen. I didn't know he was dubbed.
Yeah,
That
he was
explains a
dubbed,
little bit. Yeah.
but yeah.
Hi,
Now
Daddy.
I
Yeah.
know it was awful. Merchandise. Was there any merchandise?
There was a comic book done by the great Jim Steranko, who you
Ah,
might know from Marvel Comics fame, but also did the Indiana Jones pre-concept artwork and such. But he made a comic book, very visually stunning. It was only in Heavy Metal magazine, which was like an adult comic
yes.
book. It was released overseas, never released in the U.S., unfortunately. But if you can get a hold of it, it's very well done and stuff. The artwork, the visuals are cool. There was a book that I have still that I can't find right now. It's a photo novel that has
Mm-hmm.
stills from the movie that tells the whole story of the picture. It's about a 9 by 12. I have the novelization by Alan Dean Foster, which even went in some deleted scenes. And I don't think there was any toys, but you could let me know about it. No lunch boxes. There was a hat. I remember the back of Starlog magazine. You could send away for a
Yes.
baseball cap that had that Con Am
I love
uh
that logo.
thing
I thought all
with the rainbow.
that production design and you know, one thing, and just to go back in the Mad Magazine parody, I remember it commented on how it went through every corridor of the set because they
Yeah.
spent much money on the set. The production design, I remember, you know, they go past and you see like there's the locker room showers, you see
Yeah, yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
It's all really
The
well,
nightclub.
yeah, it's all really well thought out and it looks pretty believable, like a, you know, like a, you know, a mining rig or something like that, that you'd or an oil
Yeah.
rig, I think it was a bit like as well. So but I love those patches and you can buy them on eBay. If you want to look like Peter Boyle sitting there
Yeah.
playing golf, that's what we could have had you doing, playing some
You could
golf.
have been playing golf. Or you could look like Sean Connery because I think they had the blue
Yes.
Marshall thing there. So
So
I'm trying to think, was
that's
there
Outland. It's fantastic. It's a
well,
real
I
good,
was gonna
yeah,
say
oh yeah,
I saw it on it's on Amazon Prime here in the States, but I
okay.
do have it on Blu-ray. I don't think they ever wait. When it aired on CBS TV here, there were deleted scenes because remember they used to pad TV shows.
Yes.
There are some scenes that are not on the DVD or weren't in the theatrical release that were on this television showing of it, but I don't think they've ever been put on anything.
Hmm.
So
No,
there's
I
more
don't.
to Outland, but we'll never know.
We'll never know. We'll never know. But
Anyway,
watch it, rent it. Well, you know what else you can do?
you
You
can
can also
subscribe.
watch some of our other fantastic shows that we've got. We've got some great science fiction. We've got a lot more. What can you do to do that, Mitch?
Oh, Ed, it is easy as I don't know, exposing yourself to the elements in outer space
Oh,
and watching your head explode like a rotten tomato. All you got to do is subscribe to Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure by hitting the button down below and hit the notification bell so you'll know next time we go on another trip out into space or wherever else, and hit the like button. And that's it, Ed. That's
that's it.
Outland.
That's Outland. It's a great film. Go watch it. And don't forget, if you do have a suggestion for a movie, if there's a movie you'd like us to cover or something like that, let us know in the comments below. Well, that's it for another episode of Mitch and Ed's Excellent Adventure. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you next time.
Oh, I'm Mitch Alec.
Yeah. Oh, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
Ed
forgot.
Dollister. I thought you were going to
Yeah,
do, and we'll see you at the movies or something like that. Anyway.
sure.